Sorry about that. Battery died on my camcorder. So, like I was saying, at the end of the battle, you explore. The heroes that were not taken out during the battle can roll a dice. And that tells you how many weird stones you get. You add the total, and that'll tell you how many you find. So even the loser gets to search as long as all their heroes were not taken out of battle, and have a chance to advance. And then everybody that meets the criteria for experience will get experience, so nobody really falls behind, which is a good thing. So you find out how many stones you got. Now, rolling the dice, if you end up with doubles, triples, 4 of a kind, 5 of a kind, or 6 of a kind, you actually find something special in addition to your stones. So if you roll double ones, you found a well. If you roll 6 sixes, you found a noble's villa. Most of these are good. Of course, the more like numbers you roll, the better it is. But there are some that have a possible negative side effect to them. So for this one, if you roll 2 threes, you find a corpse. To loot it, you roll a dice and you get d6 gold coins, a dagger, axe, sword, or a suit of light armor. But if you get the well, then you can have one of your heroes climb down in the well to search it. He rolls a d6. If he gets equal to or less than his toughness, he finds a stone. A shard, they call it. Now, if he rolls higher than his toughness, he swallowed the water, gets sick, and misses the next battle. And as we go down, let's go to 6 of a kind. So, on 6 of a kind, you can see if you find the dwarven smithy, you get 6 threes. You roll a dice and you get D3 double-handed axes, D3 suits of heavy armor, a gromrel axe, a gromrel hammer, double-handed gromrel axe, or gromrel armor. So you can see it's much better than the corpse was. But any of them are good if you find something for free. There are magic artifacts. There's only 6 in the game. They have their own individual names. Once they're found, that's it. Somebody's got them. Selling your stones. When you get 8 or more stones, you have to sell them. Now, if you want, you can sell. If you get 1 stone, you can sell it right off the bat, or you can try to get more. The more stones you sell at once, of course, the better the money is. Then, the more people you have in your warband, the less you'll get for your stones, and that represents you spending money from what you earn to feed your people, upkeep your equipment, whatever the case may be. Now, Sisters of Sigmar, Skaven, and Undead, they really don't care about money so much per se like a mercenary warband would. So this little blip here explains what the weird stones represent for them, what they get out of it. Spending income at the end of the battle, any heroes that weren't taken out can actually go to the shops and try to find things. You can sell your equipment. You can hire new henchmen. When you hire a henchman into an existing henchman group, then they will start with the same skills and increases that that group already had. Now, if you hire a new henchman group, then they start out with no experience. Then you have equipment. If it's common, anybody can buy it anywhere, but there's a lot of things that are rare. So, like the elven bow here, it'll tell you the cost of it if you find it. 35 plus 3d6 gold coins, but it's rare 12. Each of your heroes can look for it once after each battle, and one of them has to roll a 12 on 2d6 to find it. Now, if they don't, then they wasted their time looking for it, and you don't get anything. So you got rare 6s, rare 8s, 9s, 7s, Tome of Magic, rare 12. So you can keep looking for those things until you find them. Then you have hired swords. These are special individuals. You have to pay a base fee to hire them, and you have to pay an upkeep after each battle. If at some point you cannot pay their upkeep, they leave you. So you got like pit fighters, ogre bodyguards, halflings, warlocks, give those mercenaries a little magic. Freelancer, elf ranger, troll slayer. Then you have dramatis persona. These are your named characters. So you can hire them for a battle. They're pretty hefty, 150 gold just to hire him, this elf. They have special rules, special equipment, special skills. Never really used them when I played, but they have different ones that will go with different groups. Like they even have Vesket here for the Skaven. Then they have optional rules. They do have critical hits. So there's a base critical hit chart for everything. But if you wanted to get fancy, you can add in for each type of weapon. So missile weapons, bludgeoning weapons, bladed weapons, unarmed, thrusting weapons. And then there's rules for escaping combat if you want to add that to the game. Then you have rewards of the Shadow Lord. Now in this comet that was, or meteor that hit the city, there was actually a chaos entity inside of it that was cast out of the chaos realm. And it is within the city, and that's who the Cult of the Possessed typically serve. The Cult of the Possessed, when they get an advancement, they can gamble. So rather than take a characteristic increase or skill, whatever they would roll, they can roll on this chart, which is representing trying to get the favor of the Shadow Lord. So the Shadow Lord could mutate them and basically take them out of the game permanently, or it could ignore them, which means you wasted that increase, or you could get a mutation, chaos armor, demon weapon, or possessed. So you're gambling, 50-50 chance. You could get something really good, or you could get nothing at all or lose that character. There's rules for mounted models in the campaign. Black powder if you want to add misfires. That's always a good thing. Good fun. Fighting individual battles tells you how to build your warband, how to pay for stuff on that if you wanted to play just a one-off. Now they added several different settings. Now they had a magazine dedicated to this. It added Kimry, added Lestria, but I didn't see the magazine on there to download. But they did put their big book expansion, Empire in Flames, which gives you a wilderness expansion for Mordheim, so you can actually leave the ruined city. And it gives you the different rules for leaving the city and playing out in the wilds. It gives you some new warbands. New rules since you're out traveling. Wilderness rules, treasure, terrain. New equipment. Lockpicks, torches, the prices for those and the availability of those. Then you got your different exploration. You get the same thing, doubles, triples, 4 of a kind, 5 of a kind, 6 of a kind. You find something special. Mounted warriors. You got your animals here, giant spiders for your goblins, war boar, giant wolf, mule, elven steed, riding horse, war horse, nightmare, chaos steed. They added those in the magazine I was talking about for Mordheim. They have vehicles, wagons and things. And different things can happen to them. Out of control. Damage for those. Boats. So you can really get into the wilderness exploration if you want. Never really had a chance to play these rules when I played. We just played within the city. You got your different scenarios. Stagecoach ambush. So things out within the world. Frenzied mob. Beastmen scenarios. Then you have your warbands. So you have your typical warbands, but then you have these. The Carnival of Chaos is a group of Nurgle followers that go around imitating a carnival and spreading disease. So they're pretty neat, especially if you like Nurgle. All the special rules, their skills, starting equipment, Carnival Master, Tainted Ones, Brutes, Plague Bearers, Nurglings. You get a plague cart, and you get Nurgle rituals for your magic. And the blessings of Nurgle. Beastmen Raiders. There's Beastmen in the magazine for Mordheim, which was a little bit different from the Beastmen in this. So in this one you get the Chieftain, the Shaman, the Bestigors. You get Ungors, Minotaur, Gors, Warhounds of Chaos. Then you get their special skills. Hired swords, so you got different hired swords for out in the wilderness, like the Beast Hunter, the Thing in the Woods, the Highwayman, Road Warden. And then you have this, which was in one of those magazines. It's called Taking It to the Streets. And what this is rules for multiple warbands to play at once. So you can have a big group of people play all at the same time and fight each other. So this gives you new scenarios and tells you how to play in a game like that. You got your play sheet, you got your rosters. Play sheets are good to have. It just gives you all the information you would need while playing, so you don't have to keep looking in the book. So it tells you the phases, recovery, movement, climbing, jumping down, falling, all your charts, your shooting, modifiers, close combat. So you can just print this out like I did, double sheeted, and you're good to go. They did put the Dwarven Treasure Hunters on here. That was from the magazine as well, and that added a Dwarf Warband, but they didn't add the rest for some reason. There is a 40K version of this, kind of. It's called Necromunda. It's free to download as well. Same thing, Special Disc Games. Just go to Necromunda right under Mordheim. Go to your resources, and there's your rule book. Never played this. I have the rule books, but with Mordheim, the warbands, if you have the figures, or you're wanting to start an army like orcs, if you can get the orc rules for it, then you can use the regular figures you would use for Warhammer Fantasy. Same for Beastmen, Mercenaries. You just buy Empire, put them together as you need them, Skaven. Now they do have the special Mordheim figures available if you wanted to go order them. And I think they're all still metal. But it's not required. You can use the figures you got or the figures you want to use for Fantasy. So that's another good thing about Mordheim. With Necromunda, it uses a much older rule set from 40K. The weapons have long and short range, which will modify your 2-hit. There's additional rules like weapons can jam. There's Overwatch. There's some things that are just a lot different from 40K, especially the recent edition. And the warbands, per se, are houses within a great spire on a planet. So the figures are very unique for the houses, so they really don't match up to the 40K figures so much. So that one you kind of have to get the special figures unless you just want to make some rule where different things will represent them. But never really played it, can't say much other than I've looked at the books. I know Mordheim is a good game. And I just wanted to point that out for those who may not have been aware of it. For those who want to get into Warhammer Fantasy and maybe don't have the money to go full out on an army, you might want to look into trying this out. But that's all I have for now. I will post more later. Till then, take care.